On your mark. Get set.
The time 9.44 seconds.
Good morning, you lovely people. How are we doing today? If I am correct, yes, StreamVOD. So what I heard was there was a launch today on Arduino Stream, who I believe is still currently live, and they said the reason for its successful launch of the rocket was because they didn't use StreamVOD. I'm just saying what they said. I mean, I personally haven't had any issues with StreamVOD itself for some time. The issues are generally related to something that I personally have done. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. Anyway, so we're gonna do an SO for Berlin.
For
Look at
not
this.
allowing flooding, like in New York
That
as
looks like
well.
one of my dogs.
You know, with the like when Brooklyn was flooded, like how can we do that? Like, should we build walls? And people are like, no, we should just
It's like Igni.
reintroduce the oysters. And here's actually a neat little sign. You can help Florida's rare coastal birds, respecting the nesting sites.
Alrighty. Well, if you want to see more fun streams like that, Berlin had a couple of weeks where he did a crazy amount of IRL streams. Everyone was fun and interesting. It's always good to get outside, even if it's virtual. In my case, just watching those streams, but they were really good. Berlin, I don't quite know how you managed to come up with so many different places to visit and so much difference in the content for each stream, but there it is. It was there. So every stream of mine, you'll happily see me, well, hopefully happily, you'll see me happily sitting here in this chair in my living room. And yeah, I did one IRL stream where I ended up getting a tick on my leg. So I think that was a sign. You know, if you're like, not sure if I should do IRL streams, give me a sign whether I should do these anymore. Tick on my leg. All right, there's my sign. So most of my streams almost exclusively will be indoor streams and not IRLs. Lee Game is. What happened to V? I haven't seen V in the longest time. Do we need to get a welfare check on V? Hope he's doing okay. V Game is. V loves to chat. V, I'm not even sure what V is called these days. I've seen you in your yard and a park. Yeah, so the park was the main IRL stream where I made besties with a tick. The backyard stream, which I guess it's considered an IRL stream, even if it's just my backyard, but that was for the eclipse. That was interesting. No, he abandoned is. Oh, so what is his name these days? Can we do a SO for him? If we know what his name is. I think we're definitely not going to get a recent clip because I don't remember seeing him streaming recently, but maybe we'll get an older clip if he even has clips enabled. Okay. Anyway, so I don't want to harp on a subject, but this is my last week streaming for 3 weeks. I'll stream today. I'll stream around this time on Friday, and then I'll be taking, let's call it a sabbatical for 3 weeks, where potentially there might be pop-up streams. When Freshie was here last stream, he suggested doing a pop-up stream from the pub, good old English pub. So that may or may not happen. The only issue is that when I go to England to see family for 3 weeks, I don't have cell phone service. So if I did a stream, not only would it be on my phone, but it would be, I'd have to be on Wi-Fi as well. So it would have to be somewhere like a coffee shop or a pub, or if I do go anywhere that's like a point of interest that I think viewers might enjoy, then I may well fire it up. But we'll see. I don't want my focus to be anything apart from seeing family, so we'll see how it goes. I think it's easier just to say I won't stream for 3 weeks, and then anything else is just a surprise. So make sure those notifications are turned on because, like I say, I don't plan on streaming for 3 weeks, but that doesn't mean I won't. So, Belint, when messages get posted, are you hearing tings or are you not hearing tings? I'm hoping you're not hearing tings because for viewers it would be quite annoying. But for me, it's nice to know that if I'm looking over this side of the screen, which is opposite to the way I'm actually looking, only hear the screaming goat. IRL stream. Yes, welcome in, Pepperoni Pizza. So one of the family members that I will be seeing when I'm in England is Pepperoni Pizza. So I might do an IRL in real life and not sat at my desk but outside stream when I go to England. I'm not sure yet. I'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, so where are we at with the project? Last time we left it, I was having some issues with squash and stretch, which we need to resolve. So the dragons are dropping now. I think the detection of when there's 3 touching might need a little bit of work. So he drops, he squashes, but as we can see, he stays squashed. He doesn't actually return to his normal scale, which is 1. So what he's supposed to do is squash down to 0.5 or half his size and then return to full size scale of 1, which he's not doing. And then also when he has another dragon land on top of him, what happens then? Then he somehow gets affected and does return to normal size. See, it's very hit and miss. Sometimes the dragons stay at 0.5. Now this one did actually return. It's quite a low position for that animation. Okay, so let's see what happens when this one lands. See, sometimes they affect the squash beneath them, sometimes they don't. So definitely needs some work. But also, the amazing Tubby Crumbles, when he was here last stream, suggested maybe a little bit of squash as well on not just the one that's landing, but the one that's being landed on. Because, obviously physics, if there was an impact on something, there would be a bit of squash on there too. So can't beat a bit of Bob Marley this early in the morning. All right, Pepperoni Pizza, which cap are we going for? Hit me with a number from 1 through 6. And then also, number 3. Okay. Yeah, also, well, firstly, I just realised I have no way of checking which number 3 was now because the image has gone off screen. So I need to have like a printout or something on my desk. So when someone goes 3, I can go, oh, yes. So I'm going to have to pull up the image real quick off stream. And secondly, I don't know if you're still here, Belint. Ah, thank you, Pepperoni, the moose one. Okay, also, on the last stream, when I did a hat change, it was just like, oh, I'll take my hat off, or put my hat on. And I had considered something like a puff of smoke so that, oh, you can't see me. But look, now I'm back wearing a hat. So I put a little something in. I don't know if Belint is still with us or not because he's a busy person. He might be already in his next meeting. But I put a little something together. There's Belint. A little something together for when I change hats. So this is the first test of it. It may or may not work. But we're going to give it a try. Okay? So if it works horribly, we'll take it out, tweak it, or whatever. But the plan is that I'll just kind of take my headphones off like this. And then if I press this magic button here, let's see what happens. Yeah. So just a little something to cover up the fact that I'm going, Twig, take this hat off, quick, put this hat on. But it doesn't last very long, so it needs presentation music. You know, One Lion, as I was growing up, when I used to go to the cinema, as we call it in England, that music is from a company called Pearl and Dean, and that music used to come up before every movie, every time. It was like almost like, I guess they have the "Let's go to the lobby" or whatever it is in America, where they tell you to buy all their overpriced not commission. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, the stuff that you eat and drink at the movies. So that music is very iconic. I need to sort his antlers out. Anyway, welcome in, One Line. Good to see you. It needs presentation music, but I like it like a drum roll. Yeah, so when I was looking for music, these antlers are all over the place. Come on, Mr. Moose, get it together. This side. Okay, I think that's as good as we're going to get. Okay. Yeah, so when I was looking for the music, I thought, well, I'll use that, but I was really looking for, what was it? It's hard to try and think how it sounded with this drum and bass playing in the background, but I was looking for something slightly different because it has the curtains and it has the 3 lights, and I wanted, I don't know, when do you see the drum roll playing? Like, it does the curtains and then it does the da 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 da. Do you think the drum roll should play right before the curtains open, when the lights fade in? So when the lights start coming up, okay, I'll put it on my list. I'll have a little play, and you have the spotlights on the curtain. So you think the drum roll rather than the music? Because I think if you had the two together, and the crash cymbal when it opens, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do some playing around with that. Drum roll, then cymbals or curtains. Not Pearl music. Okay. Like I said, it's the first time I've done it, so I thought, well, let's see how it looks. And it serves a purpose today, but maybe next time we'll have drum roll and some cymbals crashing instead. Okay, so I made some changes to the drop gain. Let me just check if it's okay. It is still working. Good. And the fanfare after the crash cymbal, leading into drum and bass hype music, and okay. I think One Lion needs to be my production manager. I think he's like offering himself up there to make those suggestions, and I then get to implement them. So pepperoni pizza. We're going to go for is that a rock drop? Oh, 88.28. Actually, that's not rock, is it? Who is that? It's hard to see on a tiny thumbnail. Okay, so Santi's Side Eye. So is that a famous wrestler, do we know, Pepperoni Pizza? I know you're a bit of a wrestling fan. I've been very much into music again lately, but I was messing with the rest of it, and their suggestions are absolutely not necessary. One line, you know, I can't resist when you suggest something because I know it's going to be a good suggestion. So at the very least, I'm going to have a play with it and test and see where we go. What is Supernatural Writer doing? Why did that look like a samurai sword that she just took off the shelf? Anyway, a wrestler related to The Rock. I mean, it looks, when I first saw it at the thumbnail size, I thought, hey, it's The Rock. And then when I looked at it in closer inspection, no, it wasn't. P. Gawley, how you doing? Good to see you. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Tribal. I don't think this is tribal headgear, TD. I don't know which tribe you are referring to. It's The Rock's cousin. I mean, are we just like joking around now, or is it actually The Rock's cousin? Because he does look like The Rock, even if he's not related. See, and speaking of wrestling, Terrier Darts loves to do mud wrestling. Not a lot of people know this about him, and he doesn't really like it to be known because, you know, he doesn't never publicizes it on his stream or comments about it. But he was actually the Yorkshire mud wrestling champion last year, 2023, and I think there's a redemption on his stream where he will actually show you the trophy that he got for that, which stands proudly on his mantle. It's actually The Rock's cousin. Oh, okay, it actually is. Interesting. Yeah, Roman Reigns. So I'm guessing The Rock doesn't actually do any wrestling stuff now, or does he come back for like cameo appearances? Because I know, he's so much bigger than the wrestling world now. He's found Hollywood, so I don't know if he still does any of that. His character is the tribal chief. Okay, that makes more sense. What's your character name for the mud wrestling though? I forget what you called yourself. What are the chances? We just saw Munglo in the streams I follow at the top, and lo and behold, Munglo appears. So for those who ever watched Mr. Ben in England, the animated TV program, there's a phrase there, as if by magic the shopkeeper appeared. So we're going to call Munglo the shopkeeper for today. So thank you for the raid, Munglo. Appreciate it. What was going on in your stream today? Tell me all the stuff. Spill all the tea. Seems fair. So I was actually running around in my off-stream day yesterday like a crazy headless chicken, but I did manage to lurk on Munglo's stream for a brief period, but I haven't seen what was going on today. So Munglo, what did you do? Nothing concrete. Okay, figuring out how to build the staircase. Okay, so Munglo is doing a lot of procedural stuff, which does interest me. And usually when you think procedural generation, you think, okay, well, every time procedural generation runs, it's going to be something different. But if you use something called a seed or a key, I believe, you can actually generate something randomly, but then each time, if you want to, you can refer back to it and use it. So you can either have a game that has different levels every time, which I think... Which game was it that had a different level every time? Was it Spelunker? I know there was one game that every time you played it, the level was different because it just used pure proc gen. But also, if you use a seed and you say, okay, well, every time I want it to look like this, then that'll allow you to create a whole bunch of levels that are random, but will be the same every time. I'm confusing myself now. So I'm going to basically do a full circle. I tried a bunch and it just doesn't fit as I want. So I'm going to basically do a full circle and do a room more like the one I had from the beginning. Okay. TD, I'm not an avid wrestling fan, but you've seen my Royal Rumble inspired raid alert. See? And that's where I was going, but I didn't want to give any spoilers away, TD. So I thought, well, when people raid into your stream, then they can see the wrestling stuff and they'll be like, look, wrestling stuff, rather than me giving it away. Can't fit a single location stair between two floors, too steep. What is going on today? What is going on? Nerdwino is in the house, also with a raid after our Munglo raid. Welcome in, Nerdwino, my fave moon person. How are you doing today? Good to see everybody. I'm going to pretend I wasn't on your stream earlier, and so I'm going to ask what was going on in your stream today, Nerdwino, before I nuke that bot. Okay. So something spacey, I imagine, pretending I wasn't actually on the stream earlier, and yes. You got up early, I believe, for some kind of lunch. Was it lunch? Launch? Munglo. So it'll be at least 2 times 1 footprint and 4 angles, or do ladder repel point or something. Yeah, so drop Munglo a follow. Let's do a SO first for Munglo because we kind of have back-to-back raids there. Double raid! So let's do a quick SO for Munglo so you can go follow.
Oh no, we can't. What the fuck is this?
There we go.
Here for?
And we can watch the kind of thing that Munglo gets up to. And while we're watching that, let's have a look what Nerduino is saying. It's funny you would ask. We watched Boeing's Starliner launch on its way to the ISS.
Drop to hell, but...
Okay, so the reason I started 5 minutes late today is because I was watching Nerduino's stream. So I put a little message in my chat saying I'll be starting in 5 minutes because there was like 2 minutes to go till the launch. So I did actually watch it on Nerduino's stream. Look at all them badly placed things. We'll just brush over that, Munglo. Moving on. That's one of the things about developing on stream, though, is, you know, it's warts and all, as they call it. So you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly of game development. You don't just get to see the finished product. Hence, why you're seeing a bunch of dragons that look like they're I don't really know what they're trying to do, but stacked on top of each other. So now let's do, I don't think we can get a fancy pants shout out because I think we did one earlier in the stream, but if we do an SO, we will get a clip and it'll pull a random clip from the last 7 days. So we might even see today's stream. Who knows?
1-1.
Oh.
I should have ended the stream 5 minutes ago.
Should you?
Links, you are already one of the lovely people who is subscribed to the channel. What would you like to do with your sub? If you want, you can gift it to somebody else. You can either just gift it to the community randomly, or you can specify somebody else who you would like to have the...
See, so one of the things on Nerduino's stream is if you play his drop game that you can see there and you get 98 or more, you can get a free sub to his channel. I totally did not rip off that idea. I mean, my drop game is inspired by that. So yes, there's my drop game. What?
Entropic Universe, I thought you liked me. Why would you turn me into a baby? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, welcome in everybody. My name in grown-up form is Lee, or Bit Gaming. Oops, missed the raid because of silly work. Yogurt Garrow. Okay, so Yogurt and I, well not me, but Bit Gaming, have this thing where we do a hug when we see each other in streams. So what I do is I do the hug. And even on streams where there isn't a hug command yet, I still do it because I'm silly like that. It's my favourite thing. So here we have 2 teddy bears consensually hugging and the Teletubbies audio for big hug. So there it is. Don't you just want to squeeze his cheek? Do you mean Bitly the kid? You want to squeeze his cheeks? Or are you asking me if I want to squeeze Nerduino's cheeks? Okay, so this redemption will end with me escaping. Baby Lee. Will end with me escaping or being captured. And it's random. I mean random in my favour, because, you know, why would I want to be caught all the time? Cheek squeezes.
So yeah, the alternative to that is I get caught and the person that used the redemption gets, not really though, $100,000. So yeah, good to see everybody. Thanks again for the raid, Nerduino. Yeah, so I am Lee, aka BitGamey, and I normally work on a game called Homeward Hound, which is where you play as a dog that is separated from your family. You're a family pet, and you have to try and get back home from the dog shelter or dog pound with some hilarious and precarious challenges and mini games. That's what we work on Mondays and Wednesdays normally, and then Fridays is my derail day where I work on a game which is as yet untitled, an untitled zombie game. But for last week and this week, since it's right before I go on my holiday, my vacay, we're working on a different side project called Dragon Drop. Dragon Drop. Get it? Get it? It has to be a punny title if I'm coming up with it. So the name came before the idea, as with most of my projects. So what it turned into was a match 3 game in 3D. So there are 16 dragons in the game, which is 4 different types of dragon with 4 different skins or colours. And it'll pick 4 random dragons for each level, and you have to try and land 3 on top of each other. So at the moment, because we're still testing and it's still being created, things run a little bit slow. It's going to get a lot faster when we get all the mechanics working. So we have this platform that we can land on, and if you press the space bar, you rotate the platform 90 degrees, and the idea is all these dragons start falling randomly, and then you have to try and land them on top of each other, like, hey look, here's another red one, let's land it on the other one. So then you get 2 lined up, and then he's coming down, we need to land him there because he's the same as that one, and then same with this one. Once it's finished, it's going to be a lot more obvious where the dragon is going to land. So we should get 3 in a row here, so they should disappear. Boom! There we go. So you get the idea. So yeah, that's what we've been working on for last week and this week. And today we're at the point where I want to work on how it looks. So we're going to talk about post-processing. We're going to put in a skybox at the back, which is a bit better than the random Unity one that's there, the default Unity one. And maybe if we get time, we'll start working on the UI, the user interface, where we can have things like speed of the game, maybe percentage of the level through the game that you are, how many match 3s you've made, what your score is, all that good stuff. All the gubbins that normally go around the outside of a game when you're playing it. So that's where we're at. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I won't necessarily have the answers, but hopefully we can look things up together if I don't know the answers. Okay, so yeah, thanks again to Munglo and Arduino for those 2 raids. Really appreciate that. And we just have a little bit of hype before we start for the raids. Alrighty, let's jump to the next song because that one's a bit awful. Okay, so post-processing, which I know is why everybody's here. That's the phrase that everybody wants to learn more about. Am I right or am I right? I think I'm right. So, in a nutshell, at a high level, what post-processing is what can be done to your camera to make this, see, 100%. Damn, Karen knows where it's at. It's the effects pretty much you put on your camera to make the game look different. So it could be a black and white filter. It could be something that makes it look dark and spooky, like a horror game, that kind of thing. And what it does is it tweaks things so that you can get it looking just how you like. So you could take a game that, you know, the colors look a bit pale, the definition of the characters is not great, and then you show the before and after scenes of when you add in the post-processing, and boom, it looks so much nicer. Well, that's the plan. So this particular project in particular, we have, actually let's get rid of these things. Last week we tried using the feel asset, adding the squash and stretch to the dragons. Didn't end so well, so we're actually taking that off of there. Okay, so the way that post-processing works in this particular pipeline, Unity has 3 pipelines. It has the built-in render pipeline, which is the one many people use and is the default. We have the universal render pipeline, or URP, which is what we're using here because it makes it most compatible between platforms. So we can have a PC game, we can have a mobile game, because if this gets into a state that I'm happy with, then we're probably going to release it on, at least on the Google Play Store, if not the Apple Store. And then there's the HD render pipeline, HDRP, high definition, and that is if you want like ultra realistic, very well, realistic is the only word really, realistic looking graphics. If you have mostly for PC, you wouldn't create a HDRP project and then release the game on mobile because it just wouldn't work. So we're using URP, Universal Render Pipeline, and that works with what's called volumes. So we have a global volume object here. We have a profile set up here that we can point it to. And as you can't see because OBS doesn't capture pop-up windows how I've got it set up. But what I'm going to do is run through some of these profiles and see how it looks. Hopefully it will look different. Here we go. Okay, so this is none. This is no post-processing whatsoever, no effects, nothing. And then we have a bunch of profiles that I purchased as an asset from the Unity asset store. And as we change to each of these, you'll see that the look sometimes is quite subtle, but other times is quite dramatic, and dramatic to the point that you really wouldn't use it in a game, but it can be a starting point for you to do your tweaking. So you can start from scratch. You can say, okay, I don't have an asset where I'm going to bring in all these pre-made post-processing profiles. I'm just going to create mine from scratch. And you can do that, but I'm not very good at that. And I don't know many people that are very good at that. I know that Tubby Crumbles is amazing at that. So what you can do is you can use one of these pre-made profiles like I'm going to use, and then you can start to mold it. So you could liken it to pottery, where you could take a block of clay and you can say, okay, I'm just going to start from scratch. I'm going to have this block of clay and I'm going to mold it into something. Or you can say, okay, I've got this block of clay that somebody has already fashioned into a nice little pot, and I'm going to put my own tweaks on it. So we're actually getting the pre-made pot, and we're going to be tweaking things slightly. So we're going to have a look. We're going to start the game off, because we can't really see how much is affected by just looking at a platform of 4 cubes. We're going to start the game, land a few dragons, and then we're going to start cycling through some of these profiles to see which looks best. And it doesn't have to be the profile that it ships with. It can just be while we're developing. It can always change at a later time. So we'll just bring some of these down and get some kind of scene to work with to see how the colors and the models get affected by the changes that we put in place. All right, so we'll get a few more dragons on here. Let's land him on that one. And then we'll pause it about there. Okay. So now we can go back to global volume. We still have it set to none here. So we can change it to aqua profile, which is this one. Not really sure why you would use that. But also, you can change the profile in game. You can either have a profile that applies to the whole game. You can have a localized profile that says, okay, when I go into this dark room, I'm going to use this profile instead. Or you can just turn them on and off as you want while you're playing the game. So if you look at this, you'd say, yeah, but you'd never play a game with that. That looks awful. But if this was a horror game and you were being attacked, you could maybe cycle between this and another profile just to give a slightly different effect. So that's Aqua. Then we have Autumn, which obviously cranks up the colours, gives it a bit more vibrancy or something like, say, a mobile game. Another Autumn profile, Coziness. So this is why really we need to get a good, almost final skybox in the scene, or what appears behind the game, because some of that, the light coming from that, the colours used in that, can affect how it looks when you change the profile. So we can find a great profile now and go, yeah, this is the one we want to use, and then we'll put a skybox in and it'll look different, and it'll be like, so we'll take a quick look through these, but we're probably going to choose a skybox before we decide on our final post-processing profile. So you can see the difference between these two. This one's very vibrant. This one is a lot more pastel, light colours, faded maybe, crazy, dark too, dark. Feel Falcon, this one's called. Feel Strike. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking that the depth of field is, yeah, not great. I mean, this is what the player will see on the right hand side, and this is what we see on the left for development. Okay, so then we have Green Paradise, HDR profile, Horror 2, Horror 3, Horror, Low Mo New, Movie 2, Movie 3, Movie 4, that's not bad, Movie 4, Movie 6, Movie Purple, Russian 2, Russian, Sample, Vice 2, Vice 3, and Western. Vice 3 is not terrible. So we have quite vibrant green for the grass. We have brown, vibrant brown, if you can have a vibrant brown. The dirt. The dragons stand out pretty good. Yeah, you see, compared to this one, you look at that dirt, you can't really see any of the detail. This one brings that out. So we might stick with Vice 3 for now. Let's have a look how it looks when the game's playing. Not terrible. Not terrible isn't the bar I was going for, but okay, so that was Vice 3 profile. So we go back in here now because it doesn't save changes when you're in play mode. Change it back to Vice 3. Like I say, this is subject to change based on what we set the skybox to, or the background. Okay, so what we can do now is we can look for a background. So we will go to the asset store, show browser. Okay, so these are the assets that I have, and we can either search for Skybox. We can try that first. That will show us all the Skyboxes that I've purchased previously. And then if we don't get anything good come out of this, we can search for fantasy and see if there's something more specific to fantasy or dragon environment. So we have 3 real skies. We don't really want anything this realistic, do we? We have... This is one of the big problems with game dev when you're using pre-made assets. So we have the dragons, which are semi-realistic quality, and then we have the platform we're using, which is more kind of stylized. So when you start mixing and matching, you need to try and get something that is cohesive between all the art styles. So if we just threw in here an ultra realistic sky, it might not fit with how the rest of the game looks. So let's keep looking through. Fog, animated fantasy planet. So what we could do, I don't know if it just includes the planet or if it includes this sky as well. It's quite a moody sky, isn't it? See, what we can also do, because we're only working on a small part of the scene, is we could say have this sitting behind the scene, and then even though it's a planet and it's rotating, you're not going to see the outside of the planet. So it would just look like a sky behind it. I wonder if that would actually work. Maybe. Put that on the possibility list. Animated sun skybox. Guessing, yep, from the same dev. I think sun would fit. Animated gas planet. Surreal skyboxes. See, this kind of thing might work, especially if it's going to be primarily targeting the mobile platform. Oh, that's a bit too cartoony. And this skybox. See, although this skybox looks like it has houses in it, I'm not sure if they're included. And if they are, we can position the camera and the objects to hide those. But this looks more like almost Northern Lights, doesn't it? This would be a bit too normal, I think. This might work. Let's keep looking. Skybox Blender. No, none of those. Animated Cosmos shader. Maybe not. Super simple, cartoon, anime, stylized. That's a bit too stylized. Toon Fantasy Nature, 20 stylized skies pack. Yeah, and a bit too stylized, I think, for what we need. Procedural Sky, Low Poly Tools, Skybox Plus. See, I loaded this into another project from Connect, and it just seemed like all the skies were purple. And then when you look at all the demo pictures on on the asset store, apart from the night scenes, they all seem purple. Even the night scenes, look, it's got a purple tint to that, so not really sure what's going on there. Well, no purple there. Full color customization control. Yeah, and I tried to change it from purple, and it didn't end so well, so I don't know. I think maybe we might use this in another project, but this one is, I think, a bit too simple for using something with that level of customization. Quiet morning hours. Customizable. A bit too simple. ArchViz. So this URP post-processing profiles, this is the asset that we're using at the moment to choose all those different settings we just looked at. Farland skies, nope, just a bunch of clouds. Snow Mountain Skybox add-on. Why is it called an add-on? What's it an add-on to other than Unity? Again, a bit too simplistic, I think. Not sure what's going on with the shout-out system today. Seems to be getting a lot of shout-outs. I don't know if that's one of my lovely mods in the background, or if it's just we had some shout-outs outstanding from the previous stream. Color skies, world skies, free skybox. Skybox here is free. I think we're going to have to load in one of these packs and just see how it looks in engine. Wispy skybox. Nope. Starfield. Nope. Nebula space. Yeah, it's going to make things too dark. All right, so let's get the animated fantasy planet. Let's duplicate this tab, and this time we'll look for any fantasy assets, not specifically the skyboxes. And then we'll drill it down to 2D. Okay, characters, farms, soldiers, loot. Also looking for possible UI adding today. So let's see if we can use any of this. Yeah, I think my biggest challenge is going to be getting everything to look like it fits together. Like I say, we have the dragons, which are semi-realistic, and then we have the platform, which goes more to the non-realistic stylized option. And then we're going to have to make the UI match. We're going to have a matching skybox, so fun times. Fantasy status icons. Cards pack, skyboxes, forest, skeleton, cartoons, herbs, sprites. 2D fantasy stylized pack. So it doesn't have to be a skybox. A skybox is all encompassing. It's like if you imagine putting a globe around the whole scene, so you're inside it, so that in a 3D game, wherever you rotate, you're actually seeing the skybox. We don't have that limitation, or we don't have that that level of enclosure because we're just going to be looking at a static fixed camera, which means we could potentially have something like this where it's just a 2D scene in the background. The only thing that we're rotating is the platform. So then the question is, do we want it to look like we're rotating the platform, or do we want it to look like the camera is moving around the platform? Because if the camera is moving around the platform, we will literally move the camera, and then we would need a fully inclusive skybox rather than just a scene. Are these songs today? Let's have a different playlist. Let's put something on a bit different. Let's try this one. Okay, so these are a bit too detailed for what I need. Marcus is in the house. Black Mage UK, how are you doing, my friend? Let's get a shout out for Black Mage UK, quick sharpish. So Marcus is an amazing level designer, game dev, all-round besto friendo, as Balint says. And has some amazing streams, which we're about to see a clip of. See, he does medieval scenes, he does scenes in sewers and stuff, does neon scenes.
Have better luck with making from your work. I feel you may be able to make a different looking cheese wheel.
That can only mean one thing. Not only do we have the legendary Black Mage UK, we also have the Irish heartthrob, Irish John Games. Welcome in, Jern. And Freshy, saw you sneak in there. Hello to you, Freshy. Freshy, who has just bought a new house. Freshy, that you can see there, that's Fresh Meat, has just bought a new house.
Well, your perspective fucked your judgment.
I think for new house hype, we need some hype.
We don't want to do things over and over. All right, so this needs to be...
Tyndall is in the house. There is Tyndall, and I'm sad. I'm sad that this clip doesn't include Zelda, who is Tyndall's lovely cat.
I need to get a thing here. I need to get the...
There we go. Zelda in emote form. Always good to see you, Freshy. Always good to see you too, Tyndall. And Irish John Games has been lurking and has come out of lurk mode so that we can hear the lovely Pirates of the Caribbean tune. So Irish John Games, I think there's probably 2 people in the world now that don't know who Irish John is. And for those 2 people, if they just happen to be in this stream, I'm going to use the Irish command, which shows you all his links. So drop him a follow at his first link so you can watch game development of his amazing Rise of Piracy game, which you can wishlist from the second link. And then if you want to see the amazing publisher that he has landed in the form of Microprose, click on the third link. If you're a Unity game dev and you want to see his 2 amazing assets, click on the 4th link. And last but not least, if you want to support him by making a purchase of Jern merch, then the last link there will take you directly to his shop. Irish John, never heard of him. See, Terrier Darts is one of the 2 people, and he was in here, so I'm very glad that I did that. I don't think we did an SO though, did we? I don't remember seeing the wholesome clips that usually come from the stable of Irish John Games. So let's do that and let's see. Here we go.
Thanks, Gilted. 5 a.m. I wish you 5 people good night. Good night, Ninja Bus. 5 a.m. What? What? Sight of the word Dion at all. Alex, thank you for the follow as well. What's going on with this clip? Back, does it? It looked like it was working in the top left, but the rest of the screen was frozen. State of Decay 3. Oh, class. Remember State of Decay 2 had...
Yeah, so Irish John Games has some amazing content. You can see like amazing pirate stuff in his game. He does side projects. He has a lot of great stuff going on. I'm just not sure what was happening with that clip. I don't know why the clip got clipped, but yeah, get yourself over there. Drop him a follow. Streams every day except Sundays. Yes, show him some love. Okay, now I'm caught up. We saw the lovely Tyndall. We saw Freshie. We saw Irish John. Have we seen all the new party people? We saw Marcus. I think we are caught up. I'm going to say yes, we're caught up. Sometimes people clip nothing. Yeah, my question is why? Why though? It's like, oh look, there's a little clapperboard icon down here. It says clip. Let me try this. Oh, it just clipped the last 30 seconds. Publish, I guess. No. Take a little bit of time. Take a little bit of pride. If you're going to create a clip, I would say, at least, you know, pretend like it's your clip. And it'll have your name tied to it anyway, so we can see who clipped it. So take a little bit of time, you know. Oh, let's see. Where would be the best start of the clip? Here. Where would be the best end of the clip? Here. And this is all the great content that we're going to have, that we're going to show the party people. I don't know. I just take pride in my clips. If I think something is clip worthy and I've clipped it, I'm going to take the extra minute, couple of minutes it takes to get it looking just so. But maybe that's just me. It's because people press on the clip to go back to see what you've said, but even if you don't press publish, it still creates a clip. Well, yes and no. It creates the clip, but unless you publish it, it doesn't appear in the clips. Because I've done that myself. I've clipped things before, and I could be wrong. I don't want to speak in absolutes, but I'm fairly certain that if you don't publish the clip, just because you've created a clip, it doesn't save it. But if I'm wrong there, I might have to go back to some streams and delete some of the clips. But yes, I use it sometimes if I go to a stream that I'm not subscribed to and I get hit with an ad just as I ask a question, then I use the clip feature, which doesn't include ads, and then I'm able to go back and watch what the answer was to my question. But I never publish those, so I'm really just hoping that that is not true, TD, and they don't still appear in the clips lineup. I'm going to have to do some testing now to see whether that is true or not. So if anybody wants to just click on clip now to clip that randomly, and then when the screen comes up and it loads, just close it out, and then I'll be able to see later whether because that might explain some things if you're right, TD. In fact, we haven't done a SO for TD. What is going on in the world? Okay, so Terrier Darts, despite what he says, is a great programmer and a good guy, and he does a lot of StreamVOD stuff. Well, that was how I was aware. Yeah, I'm going to have to test it. He does a lot of StreamVOD stuff. Self-confessed Moni Yorkshireman, as it says in his about text, and he plays darts and he codes. Not at the same time. That would be a bit interesting. Has some fun redemptions and can answer pretty much any question you have about StreamVOD. So I did just press clip and close the tab. Okay, thank you. I will go and check that in a moment, and then we will know for definite what the answer is. So let's have a look. See if we can get a clip of TD. There he is. But it's not a clip from the last 7 days because TD hasn't streamed in the last 7 days, or has streamed but no clips were created. So we get a slightly older clip here.
So I want to explain what was happening there.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing.
What were you doing? We'll never know what TD was doing. Ah, talk about a cliffhanger. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my off-stream browser. Right, Freshie? I mean, come on now. Keep us in suspense like that. We may never know. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my non-streaming browser and let's have a look and see if any clips were created from today's stream. Oh, apparently I'm streaming, so let's mute that. Oh, we got a shout out from Tamart, who we just shouted out. Sent you a picture. That clip is in my created clips. Okay, so let me have a look and see if they actually show as public clips. So filter by clips and top 7 days. No clips were created in this time period. So yeah, I don't know if it's showing for you. You might just be able to retain it for your use, TD, because I don't see it when I go to twitch.tv/bitgamey/clips. I don't see it. I don't see that any were created today. What about if I manage clips? Does it show me in that list? Clips of my channel or clips I've created? Even under clips I've created, I don't see any. Actually, maybe there are. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think it's just stored locally for you, TD. Check yourself out, see what clips shows. So it's going to pull a random clip from the last 7 days. So let's see if it does pull that in. Answer was to my question, but I never published those, so I'm really just hoping that that is not true, TD, and they don't still appear in the clips lineup. I'm gonna have to do some testing now to see whether that is true or not. So if anybody wants to just click on clip now to mind blown. That explains then why sometimes we get clips and they're like, what? Why? Wow, there we go. Okay. I also explain why when I look through my clips sometimes, I'm like, why did somebody clip that? It makes no sense. And I tried to clean up my clips on a regular basis. I did it a couple of days ago. What is crazy is when I go into my clips and I look at them and I don't see it. Yet it pulls it in. Bang as a mash. Well, thank you for the alert, TD. I appreciate you doing that test for me. Now I need to go and delete that clip because I don't really want that clip coming up. Someone else has a similar clip system where it says pull in clip from the last 7 days and it pulls that one in. That would be interesting. Right, delete TD's clip. I'll add that to my to-do list when I finish streaming today. All right, so I wonder if Giphy can pull in Bangers and Mash, or if it'll pull in. I believe there was a series of books with some primates called Bangers and Mash. Whether it will pull those in. Nope. Bangers and Mash apparently pulls in a ghost, because why? Why is Bangers and Mash a ghost? Bangers and Mash, Control C, Control V. I mean, it says Bangers and Mash in text underneath, but I don't know. I've definitely made accidental clips on mobile because the clip button is next to settings when I try to change video quality. Ah, okay. You see, but if that was me prior to today, Yogurt, what I would have thought is, okay, I've accidentally created a clip and gone to the screen, but since I didn't create it, I just loaded it up with the intention of creating it. If I just close out that window, then it doesn't get stored. But according to today's test, it does get stored, which now I kind of feel a bit bad because, like I say, sometimes if I watch an ad or if there's something the streamer said that I missed and I wanted to check again, I would go back and look, and I didn't realise that were getting stored. So yeah, I think when you save a clip on somebody else's stream, you have authority to go back in and delete it, right? Even though it's not your stream. So if I know a stream where I've created clips in the past, if I go back and look at those clips, I think, or at least in my creator dashboard that I just looked in, I can see all the ones that I've created. I can go through and clear those up. So, accidental dog's butt. I've definitely made accidental dog's butt on mobile because the clip. Okay, all right. So how does that sound if we have, say, Stitch saying it? Oh, how we laughed. Yeah, I check every now and again, delete my accidental clips. Yeah, which, like I say, I do purge, for want of a better word, quite often my clips, just because I'm very aware that a lot of streams you join, when they do a shout out for you, especially if you raid them, it will pull in clips. So occasionally it'll pull in a clip and I'll be like, why did somebody even clip that? Yeah. Now that's opened my eyes to the clipping system. You know, I've only been streaming for 2 years, so I'm bound not to know these things. Yes. So after the stream, I need to review clips I created in Creator Dashboard. Okay. Well, there we go. We live and learn. Today I learned. TIL. Okay, so back to Fantasyland. And these are great for having, I guess, if you had a 2D game and it was just on a single static scene, so a fighting game, you could use these. But I don't think they are fit for the purpose that we need. 2D cute birds. Look, younger burbs. Burbs. 2D cute burbs. Let's have a look. Look. Make your own Flappy Bird clone. Fantasy Monsters. $40. I definitely did not buy this pack. It must have been part of a bundle. Indeed, all the burbs. Awesome game UI pack 14. Yeah, I think we're going to have to be very careful when it comes to the UI, because although I wanted this primarily to be a mobile title, I don't want it to be this cartoony because of the dragons that we're using. So slightly more realistic UI, I think. Are you going anywhere for vacation or just lazing at home? Well, it's funny you ask that, which is a very good question, because once a year, thanks to my mum's generosity, she pays for a ticket for me to fly back to England. So I'll be going back to see family for 3 weeks. I fly out on Saturday and then I fly back 3 weeks later. And so I won't be streaming on my regular schedule for 3 weeks. Yes, it is amazing. Always good to see everybody, you know. Yes, 3 weeks. You come find me, Marcus. We'll go out and have a beer. Yeah, so I'm going to have access to a vehicle. I usually drive my mum's car when I'm over there. I still have a British license. She makes sure that I'm included on the insurance, so I can still get about when I'm there. I just don't have any cell service, so unless I'm somewhere that has Wi-Fi, like the pub or the coffee shop, or I don't know, I guess any sites, if I go sightseeing, might have Wi-Fi, then I may do, or I may not, IRL streams while I'm over there. The plan is to obviously not be on my regular streaming schedule. I won't have this lovely setup I have here with my desktop and everything, so it would just be on my phone. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's the only time of the year that I get to see them other than video calls, so yeah, it should be fun. And then of course, you know, I'm flying British Airways, so I have to look up. In fact, we're already in the browser. Let's look it up right now. British Airways movies. I do like my movies, so thank you, Yoga. Yeah, it should be good fun. Usually is. So High Life Entertainment. Let's have a look and see what movies I can look forward to seeing. And if you see any that you have recommendations for, like Dune Part 2, which I haven't seen, then feel free to shout out in chat. So now we're in the month of June. I think they changed the monthly, so everything we see here I should be able to watch. Dune was good. Oh, you've seen Dune 2? So this is Dune Part 2, obviously, and you know, it makes sense there was a Dune Part 1, which I haven't seen. But weren't there Dune movies before that? I feel like there were older Dune movies that I also haven't watched. Blows everything else out of the water. Ah, okay. My whole family pretty much lives in the same city, so we're fortunate to see each other a lot. I can imagine it's hard with an ocean between. Yes, I mean, pretty much all my immediate family live in the same town, so when I do go over there, it's not a big trek to have to see everybody, and more often than not, my mum will organise a get-together, a soiree, a party, if you will, so that, you know, usually when I land and I'm jet-lagged, and then everybody shows up to see me at my best, so yeah. So I do an overnight flight, so I take off from Texas on Saturday night, and then I land there Sunday morning. I can't really sleep on the plane, regardless of how tired I am, so I'm usually not at my best, and then I get a 2 or 3 hour drive from the airport, and then it's like, surprise, hello everybody, oh yes, and do the old Tom and Jerry where I'm using tape for my eyelids. Made an IMDb account because of how much I loved Scavenger's Reign. Oh really? I don't have an IMDb account. I use IMDb, I'm going to say definitely on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis, just to look up things. And it's like, oh look, what have we seen them in before? And then I go and look it up. But I haven't ever, I don't think, created an IMDb account. I used to when the message boards were active. So why did you create a profile, Joan? Is that just so that you can go on there? Did you want... Oh, hello, Porky. You wanted to leave a review? Because as far as I'm aware, you don't need a profile just to look things up. So I could express my love for it. And look, we were talking about Bardaki, and there he is. The bottom streams I follow. No, that sounded wrong. I don't follow bottom streams. Let me rephrase that. On the streams I follow, Bardaki is in the lower section. Okay. I've got to hit the shops. Okay, well, you have fun at those shops, Iris John. And as I always say, get me something pretty, because I think I deserve it. And for those that haven't seen the new emote yet, I'm going to use it for the drop game. There we go. Happy Pride Month. A Pride paw, because, you know, normally I work on a game all about dogs. So there we have it. I don't think we haven't... Have we seen a clip of Yoga? I don't think so. If we have, then we'll probably do another one. So I'm going to do SO, because on Yoga Stream, when you go there and you say hi, she likes the Scream movies and Ghostface. So when you go there and you say hi, it actually, I'm not going to spoil it. You need to go there and watch one of the streams and do it, and then you'll see. But there's an audio clip, is all I'm going to say. Enjoy your lurk, Freshie. Thanks for stopping by. I hope your lots to do gets done soon.
Believe it or not, we still get some power from that wind turbine out front. How is this? We tend to keep most of the lights off at night to avoid drawing attention. But after we found this stuff... So this is one of the game playing streams that Yoga has been doing lately, where she works her way through The Walking Dead, the Telltale game. But also she is a Tetris queen. She is a supermodel who's actually on a billboard in... I'm not going to get any specific than Canada, because it'll just be a surprise then. Because if you're ever driving around Canada, you'll be like, oh, I completely forgot what Big Gamey said about Yoga Garrel. Oh, there she is on the billboard. And then you'll see her. So, yeah. Get yourself over there, drop her a follow, watch her streams, and you too can enjoy fun redemptions like Yoga Garrel has brushed up against many celebrities. And on her stream, there is a redemption connected to that. I'm not going to spoil any more. Not going to spoil any more. So it was just a clip of you playing Walking Dead. So I just said that you do the Walking Dead streams and play games, but Tetris is your bag. Who's the best? Not me. No, I think you mean you. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay, so on that note, and back to the movies, let's see what I could potentially watch on the plane on Saturday. Glastonbury 2023. Raw. No, I don't really want any music performances. Dune Part 2. Browse more. Highlights. Newest releases, movies. Kind of Kidnapping. I've never heard of that one. Not familiar. All of Us Strangers. American Fiction. These are all new to me. I haven't heard of any of these. Anyone But You. Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. I'm not sure I know either of those people. Sydney Sweeney sounds familiar, like I might have seen her in something. Aquaman. Has anybody watched the new Aquaman? I've seen the old Aquaman. I haven't seen the new Aquaman yet. But I will say that Mrs. Gamey loves Jason Momoa. The acting style of Jason Momoa, I don't think it's anything to do with his like physical manliness and good looks or anything. It's just his acting, she tells me. Well, I'm glad that Balint is not present at the moment, even though he was in the stream earlier, because he knows. Yes, you know where this is going, Yogurt. He knows. He knows. He knows how little I hold this movie in low regard, and so his joke is to say how much I love it when he's on his stream. I don't really know why I didn't enjoy it. I don't really know why. I think despise is not the right word, but I definitely wouldn't want to watch it again. And yeah, it was one of the biggest grossing movies of 2023. So what do I know? I just know what I like, and I didn't like it. So I will not be watching that on the plane. And moving swiftly on, Birthright Outlaw. No idea what that is. It wasn't for everyone. Yeah, and what almost annoyed me to a degree is that when it started and they had the opening scene with the girls playing with the dolls, that to me was one of the most dramatic openings to a movie I've seen, which kind of raised the bar even more. And maybe that was it. Maybe the bar was set too high at that point, and then everything after was just like fluff for me. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, Birthright Outlaw, Blue Beetle. Now, I've heard good things about this. A superhero movie, isn't it? I haven't watched it, but I did hear good things. Bob Marley, One Love. No, I don't really want any music things. Camp Hideout. It's a bit ridiculous and probably for teens, so I'm going to jump past that one. Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Okay, people, we have a winner. Call off the dogs. We've found what we're looking for. Cat Person. Based on the sensational New Yorker short story. Don't know that one. Wait, why is Diary of a Wimpy Kid on here? That's 2021? No way. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is older than 3 years, I know. Haven't heard of most of these. Yeah, OMG, I miss watching the Rescue Rangers. Yes, they were quite popular on TV in the form on the left, I believe, the 2D animation style. It looks like we've definitely updated and gone for a more 3D model looking style. Almost Alvin-esque, you might say. Disenchanted, I haven't seen. I've seen Enchanted, the one before this. I have not seen Disenchanted. Okay, let's have a look. Where did we get to here? Downtown Owl. I recognise this actress, not least from American Horror Story, but I don't recognise anybody else from that small image. Drive Away Dolls. Dumb Money. Dune. Oh, no, it's part 2 again. I was thinking that was the first one. I thought, oh, I can watch 1 and 2. Expendables 4, or Expend 4 Bulls, which is so much easier to pronounce. Ferrari. I mean, you can't dispute the huge selection they have. Lady and the Tramp. I didn't see the new Lady and the Tramp. I've seen the old one, obviously. Killers of the Flower Moon. French Girl. Vanessa Hudgens. I'm trying to think what I've seen Vanessa Hudgens in since High School Musical. I feel like she was in a program I watched about superheroes. On Hulu, maybe. Freelance. My name is John Cena. Christian Slater, Alison Brie. Bit of a cheesy name. I'm sorry. Five Nights at Freddy's. I did watch that. That was okay. Lisa Frankenstein. Madam Web. Oh, I heard not good things about Madam Web. Dakota Johnson. I think the last thing she was in that I remember was 50 Shades. Mean Girls. I did watch that. That show was on for half a season, I remember. I did watch Mean Girls. I have seen the original Mean Girls, which I thought was good. And the new one I thought was good too. One of my kiddos wanted to watch it, so, you know, I sat through it and it wasn't horrible. And this actress here, I believe, one who plays one of the main characters, was also in the stage production of Mean Girls. Meg 2. I've heard good things. I haven't seen Meg, but I hear good things about Meg and Meg 2. I really liked the musical when I saw it. Oh, you saw the musical? Yeah. And if I'm not wrong, I believe the character here, third from the left, also played the same character in the musical. Migration. Don't think I'll be watching Migration. Napoleon. Joaquin Phoenix. Didn't we last see Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker? I feel like I did. Next Goal Wins. Night Swim. Oppenheimer. So, I think it was my brother, my younger brother, that said he went to watch Oppenheimer and actually fell asleep in the cinema while he was watching it. So that wasn't a glowing endorsement. Porky, how you doing? Let's see, why did Porky make an appearance? I went to NYC in 2019. So we see Mean Girls and Network on Broadway. Doink. Final Shapes campaign is a messy, moving high school reunion. See, now, when Porky makes an appearance, it's because he's detected something in chat that relates to ham or pork or boar or things like that. But I'm failing to see what was in your last message, Yogurt, that made him give us an appearance. Specifically... Let me try it again just to see if it was that message. I feel like it was. It was. So what is in that message that makes him appear? Now I am curious. Okay, so if I look in commands, these are the words that make him appear. Pig, pork, bacon, BBQ, barbecue, trotter, farm. Oh, oink. Oink, because you said you're such a doink. That's why. Okay, that makes sense now. I forgot I'd put oink in there as well. Okay, glad we got that cleared up. All right, Ordinary Angels, Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank is still acting in movies. I don't mind Hilary Swank. I can't remember what I've ever seen her in, but I remember liking her acting. Yeah, apparently, 2024 Ordinary Angels, Hilary Swank. So let's jump to Jern's new favourite site, IMDb. And let's have a look for... Is it 1L or 2? Probably 2. Hilary Swank. No, it's 1. Okay. So what have we seen Hilary Swank in? Also, recently.
P.S. I Love You. I think I saw that. Let's have a look. So Ordinary Angels is the one that's on the plane. The Good Mother, Zero Tolerance, Alaska Daily. No, no. Oh my goodness, she's a voice in BoJack Horseman. I Am Mother. I feel like I watched that. New Year's Eve. I did watch that. She played a doctor in The Resident. Burbs of America. I heard of that one. The Reaping. I feel like I saw that. The Gift. Saw that. Yeah, nothing really stands out that I remember her from. And it only shows these 4 that she's known for. Alrighty. Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. Put it on the list. Gotta watch that one. Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. Did I watch this? If I didn't watch it, I considered watching it because I read the original book by Stephen King. I have watched the previous Pet Cemetery movies. I feel like I've watched 2. But I don't know if I've watched that one. Candice has her own movie for Phineas and Ferb. What? One thing I remember about Phineas and Ferb is... Isn't it a British family in it, from what I remember? And they do have lots of British references. Please don't destroy poor things. Priscilla, relax, I'm from the future. What? I guess with a title like that, there's a reason I don't recognise any of the actors' names. Retribution, I heard, was a bit meh. River Wild, Rumble Through the Dark. Saltburn, Self-Reliance, Shazam. See, nothing here jumps out at me and screams, yes, look, it's that film you wanted to watch. The Exorcist Believer, I saw. That was okay. Beekeeper. Jason Statham. I used to love Jason Statham movies. Like Crank and a lot of his earlier stuff. Really good. And then he kind of was seen in Fast and the Furious movies. And they were okay. But I feel like he's had some turkeys. Saltburn was wild, but a lot of people hated it. Now, is there a reason that my kiddos told me not to watch Saltburn? As in, it might be the kind of movie they don't want to watch with their parents kind of movie. Yeah, okay, I was remembering that correctly then. Because they watched it, but said they wouldn't watch it with parents, so that's kind of why it stuck in my mind. Alright, well, looks like we're not finished with this list yet, but my coffee cup is empty. Yes, that's what I suspected. Yeah. So, maybe on a plane with other people around me might not be the best place for me to watch it either. That might be awkward too, so we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to grab a coffee. I will be right back.
It's worth protecting. Add tech coverage to your USAA renter's insurance and help protect your electronics from accidents, spills, and more. Help protect your tech for less. Get a quote today.
I'm Kelsey Probilski, and I am no stranger to beef-loving Texans. After 3 epic seasons of BarbaQuest, we have explored the ins and outs of Texas barbecue. Over the past few weeks, popular foodies and home chefs have been vying for the opportunity to come here and compete for the title of Ultimate Beef-Loving Texan. You followed their stories, fell in love with their recipes, and now Danielle Dubois and Johnny Stewart are here to compete in the Ultimate Beef-Loving Texan Showdown. The cook who demonstrates the most skill, creativity, and Texan beef-loving flair throughout the 3 challenges will take home this, the Ultimate Beef-Loving Texan belt buckle, and a 12-month partnership with Beef-Loving Texans. Pretty, isn't it? Now, let's meet our contestants.
Well, I'm Chef Johnny Stewart. I'm a culinary arts instructor. Didn't start off as a chef. I started off as a football coach and a biology teacher. People go, don't you miss coaching? I said, I miss coaching tremendously, but people don't get near as mad at you when you cook for them as when you don't play their son on Friday night. I have near 100 top 10 finishes in barbecue competitions.
Do I think I could teach him a thing or two? My name is Danielle Dubois. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I moved to Houston, Texas 9 years ago. I run Hangry Houstonian, which is a food and lifestyle blog. It's been incredible. I remember telling my parents that I was going to quit my full-time job to do this, and they weren't exactly sure how that was gonna go, but now it's my full-time job.
To win this competition, I'm gonna have to cook my tail off, because I have looked at Danielle and her Instagram, and she is a personality. She doesn't have a whole lot of cooking on there, but she knows food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely nervous. I saw a picture of Johnny, and I mean, he looks like he sleeps in a smoker. I obviously know that this man can really cook, and that has a background in cattle and in meat. I know that's not my route and that's not me, but I think that's what's kind of cool about this competition that makes this different. I'm a person that can go to the grocery store and be your average person that walks in, grabs a pack of ground beef, and makes an ultimate recipe.
We've assembled an all-star cast of judges to decide who will be the ultimate beef-loving Texan. First up, we have Jess Pryles, hardcore carnivore, live fire chef, meat enthusiast, and to top it all off, a great judge of character when it comes to meat.
I'm looking forward to how different the contestants are. They come from such different backgrounds, and so I really expect to see a diverse range of plates that they're going to be serving up, which is so representative of what Texas looks like.
So I like that I can pull in arcade videos from YouTube. I don't like that there's ads all over it, and potentially an ad for the whole time that I'm on the BRB screen. That's not really why I set it up. But I saw American Pie 2 with my parents at a drive-in. I'll never, ever, ever forget that. Ooh, oof. Yeah, that'd be rough. It was funny though. It was a good movie. Is number 2 the one where Stifler does the dancing in the nightclub? Because I thought that scene was hilarious. There's not many scenes in movies that stick in my head. That one in particular I thought was hilarious. We were there to see A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger and stayed for the next show. I was like 14 and mortified. Yeah. What was the rating then on American Pie 2? Yes, PG-13. I mean, I loved it, but I felt like I couldn't laugh without knowing about sex. Yeah. 14A here. Ah, okay. Have a look, because they ran for a while, didn't they? I think there were even some American Pie movies they made that didn't have the original cast in. So American Pie 2, American Wedding, Girls' Rules, The Naked Mile. Yeah, I think this Girls' Rules, and maybe even The Naked Mile, were almost the cash grab movies, just using the title afterwards. I think Eugene Levy, the dad, was definitely one of the few original cast I remember in this one. And he might even have been in this one. But yeah, Jason Biggs and the usual peeps were not in those two. So under 14 is an adult. Then we have 18A. Why do you have A after it? That seems unusual. 18A. We don't have R here, so as long as one person is 18, under 18 can enter. Oh, okay. A for adult. Aha! That makes sense. Okay, so here American Pie 2 was R rated. Rated R for strong sexual content, crude humor, language, and drinking. Ratings are weird. Yeah, because in England, they're different as well. Here we go. U for universal. G for parental guidance. 12A. Oh, I guess we have A in England as well then. 12A, 12, 15, 18, and R18. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't do to standardise, would it, over the whole of the world? I mean, you know, let's have one other thing that we have to have different between countries. There's a great documentary called This Film Is Not Rated. It talks about how corrupt the MPAA is. Oh, really? Well, now I'm going to look that up. This film is not yet rated, and deleted scenes and a Q&A. Kirby Dick's expose about the American Movie Ratings Board. Interesting. Now I'm going to look up where I can watch it. It says Amazon there, but we do what? Polygon Pilgrimage. Greetings, I'm a fellow Unity game developer creating a kid-friendly fun platformer about construction tools in a Pixar-style world, looking to support other devs in the space and help out where I can. Be well. The Polygon Pilgrimage, I believe I am already following you. Yes, I am. Yes, so welcome on in. Appreciate the introduction. I did get an email from Twitch saying that they are ending the experiment of new introductions. So I'm glad that you managed to get under the wire before they did that. Let's go ahead and do a... And because I follow the Polygon Pilgrimage already, you might see their stream at some point during this stream in the streams I follow section. Thank you. I want to stop in and say hi. What are you working on today? Okay, so I will get into that in a moment. Let's just do a quick SO and let's see if we have a random clip from the last 7 days for you. If not, it'll pull an older one.
Idea. So it looks like I have a brilliant idea already, which is
hey, that UI looks familiar.
The case so far. Well, it is the case. Yeah, just it looks like I'm like, oh, look at that. You know, like you're trying to solve a problem, and all of a sudden it's like, so that's what the sun looks like at the moment. So when the sun starts to go down, I'm an hour early tonight. So that
Nice. So if you want some more Unity game dev, get yourself over and drop Polygon Pilgrimage follow. And what am I working on today? Well, funny you should ask. Show Unity. So this is a side project that I've spent last week and this week creating just as a fun thing to do called Dragon Drop. Dragon Drop. A little bit punny. It's a match 3 3D game where you can rotate the platform, but only in one direction to make it more challenging. And you have to try and land 3 dragons of the same type on top of each other. A fellow punster. Oh, yes. Yes, if it's not punny, it's not coming in. So we have the dragons dropping, which will get faster eventually, but for now, they're dropping fairly slow. And then you just press the space bar and you can rotate the platform. And today we were playing with post-processing, as you can probably tell, to get things looking a bit different. So there's 2, this is 3, so then they should disappear. Ding! Okay, so that's the point we're at the moment. But yeah, normally I work on my main project is Homeward Hound, a game inspired by Dog's Life on PS2. You start off in a dog shelter since you got separated from your family, and as playing as the dog, you have to work your way back through challenges to try and find your family again. Not unlike movies like Bolt, like Homeward Hound, and other similar movies. New Jak and Daxter PC mod finally lets you play multiplayer. Okay. Alright, we'll wait with bated breath to see who was at Polygon Pilgrimage's door. Show browser. Okay, so where can we actually watch? This film is not yet rated. $21.92. That has to be buying, not renting, right? Yeah, that's buying the DVD. So I guess it's not on Prime. Watch documentaries. Oh, well, I guess the whole film then, Yogurt, is on this website. Okay, I mean, watchdocumentaries.com seems legitimate. It's not like they've ripped off the film and they put a pirate version there, so I'll leave that open. See if I can give that a watch. Okay, so new Hunger Games, new Ice Age, Holdovers, The Hill, Flash. The Lesson. Painter, tripped up. Again, I'm still not seeing anything that makes me go, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to add that to my watch list. Wicked Little Letters was okay. That was recommended to me to watch by my mum. She saw it and said it was good. I watched it and it was interesting, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. Wonka. Have you seen Wonka yet, Yogurt? Because, I don't know. I heard that Hugh Laurie is in it.
and I don't know. I think if it's something as different as this looks to be, that I'm not sure if I want any actors in it that I already know. Especially when they've been in things as dramatic as House. But I'm also trying to get into audiobooks. So I did the trial of Audible, and I got the audiobook of Tom Hanks' new book, where it's not actually all about him, but he wrote it based on his experiences in the movie industry. So I got that. That's downloaded to my phone. So I might not even watch movies on the plane if this is the selection, to be honest. Because looking through these, yes, there's a big selection, but are there any that I really wanted to watch? Not really. Haven't seen Wonka. I think I've seen all the other iterations of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka, and this is the only one I haven't seen yet, the new one. Someone told me they saw it and they really enjoyed it, but that's not somebody I've taken movie recommendations from before, so it could go either way. Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid. Last thing I saw Dennis Quaid in that I remember was Inner Space, which I think might have starred Meg Ryan as well, where they went into a tiny capsule or got shrunk down to be tiny and went on a voyage around the human body. The Holdovers. Why is there a broken Christmas bauble? So I've seen the original Colour Purple, which was good, but I haven't seen this version. Kiefer Sutherland. Haven't seen him in anything for a while. I always get them mixed up. Kiefer is the son, right? Not the dad. What's the dad's name? Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland is the son. He was in 24, I believe. Is that the guy from 24? I never watched 24. Yes, 24. What's his dad's name? Donald Sutherland. Yeah. And he's still acting, isn't he? Donald Sutherland, which surprised me. I saw him in something recently. What did I see him in? Donald Sutherland. Thank you, yes, Donald. Jedi Mega Man with the Canadian flag representing. What did I see him in recently, though? I saw him in something very recently. Mr. Harrigan's phone. Was that it? Maybe? I feel like there was something else. Let's see. Let's jump on his IMDb. Oh, Hunger Games, I saw him in. Yeah, I finally managed to watch all the Hunger Games movies that I hadn't ever seen any before. What's Mr. Harrigan's phone about? Oh yeah, I did watch that. Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I think I did see it. What did I see him in before that? Hunger Games we mentioned. Horrible Bosses, I saw that. He's been in a lot that I haven't seen, and I watch a lot of movies. Salem's Lot. Oh, that's the TV series. I liked the Salem's Lot movie. Again, back to Stephen King. So, Yoga, if you're still here, do you read much Stephen King? Any Stephen King? Because I finished Fairy Tale a few weeks back. But then I understand that he's already got another book that's either out or just about to come out. Fallen, that was good. I watched that. Cool, he has a long credit list. Alright, I can hear the cat thumping on the bedroom door to come out, so give me a moment. Thanks for the lurk, Jedi Mega Man. Appreciate you stopping by. Okay. Just in time to avoid the ads. Good job, Jedi. Book of Clarence. Not familiar with that. Yeah, so like I was saying, Jason Statham, I liked a lot of his early stuff, but I also know that he's been in some turkeys, which I guess arguably all actors have at some point. I just don't know if The Beekeeper is good. Let's have a bit of a dive on Jason Statham. Oh, of course, he's in Meg 2, isn't he? Was he in Meg as well, or just Meg 2? Let's have a look. Yeah, he was in the Meg, first one. Crank, Furious 7, Spy, Beat. GTA Online's next update will add police missions and bounty hunting. Okay. I mean, Operation Fortune, Rust de Guerre. Never even heard of that one. Wrath of Man, didn't see that. Viva la Madness TV series, what? One man's brutal campaign for vengeance takes on national stakes after he is revealed to be a former operative of a powerful and clandestine organisation known as Beekeepers. Watch the official restricted trailer. Why is it restricted? It's a weird word to use. Let's have a look.
looks like it might be my type of movie. Okay, I don't watch anymore because it's going to spoil it. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to have a little list on my phone. Watch on plane. It's called Beekeeper. Beekeeper. All right, we have one movie on the list, and since I'll be returning the same month, I'm guessing I'll have the same selection coming back. Because I know on some flights they have it where, okay, you can watch these on outbound trips and you can watch these on return trips. But if I remember rightly, last year they just have a whole list of movies you can watch on a British Airways flight, regardless of which direction you're traveling. Okay. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I never saw the original Shazam movie, although I understand it was pretty good. Self-reliance. Poor Things. I saw the trailer for that and it didn't hook me, to be honest. Please don't destroy the treasure of Foggy Mountain. That seems like a teen thing. Cemetery Bloodlines. Let's have a look at the trailer. I don't want to watch the ads, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and mute it. Lunch break is over. Let's go back to work. Thank you, Yoga, for stopping by. I appreciate it. And hopefully work is over sooner rather than later for you. But I hope you have a great day. Okay, so I'm going to watch this. I'm going to scan watch this and click through it and see if it looks familiar. So if I haven't watched this, I could also add this to the list too. 3 more hours. You've got this. I've got faith in you, Yoga. You've got this. It'll be over before you know it. I can't guarantee I'll be here in 3 hours. I probably won't be, given that I've already been running for a couple, but hopefully I can catch you in your next stream. Or on somebody else's stream. Problem with this is it seems very familiar, but also I've read the book and watched the previous Pet Sematary movie, so I need to see if anything is familiar. I guess I could. Oh, yes. Yeah. David Duchovny. I remember now. I have seen it. Okay, so not adding that one to the list. Paw Patrol. Moving on. Ordinary Angels. Let's have a look. Ordinary Angels review. Skip past IMDb because you can never trust those. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. That sounds pretty good. 99% audience score. What? Fierce but struggling hairdresser in small town Kentucky who discovers a renewed sense of purpose when she meets Ed Schmidt. Widow working hard to make him two dollars brand. Inspiring tale of faith and yeah, I don't really think if I'm in holiday mode, I don't really think I'm gonna want to watch that type of movie. What about Night Swim review? Oh, we're reviewing films today. You would think so. You would think this was a film reviewing stream. But we kind of went down a rabbit hole because this week is my last week streaming before I go on holiday for 3 weeks back to England to see my family. And before I travel, I like to look at their lineup of movies so I can create a short list of things to watch when I get on the plane instead of spending time on the plane looking through their selection and trying to decide at that point when I'm on a tiny screen. It's a lot easier if I can shortlist them before I go. So I am to mention that I would be today is my last but one stream. My last stream will be on Friday, and then I'll be taking 3 weeks off the radar. So yeah, we just kind of had a look, and I looked at the huge amount of movies on British Airways flights and didn't really find any that jumped out at me. So I was just kind of having a look and seeing if there was any that caught my eye. So Beekeeper from Jason Statham is one of them. And I think probably Night Swim I'm going to add as the second one, even though IMDb says 2.4, because I don't really rate IMDb too much for their reviews because it's too easy to... Although 21% on Rotten Tomatoes, yeah. Night Swim was awful, yeah. Probably not going to add Night Swim to that list. I will be visiting the UK in October. We're doing a 3-week trip. London, Wales, Scotland. London, Wales, Scotland. Big loop, 17 days. Nice. We just watched The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Not familiar with that. Back. Are you winning? Yes, TD. Not only my back, but my front is also winning. So thank you for inquiring about the different sides of my body, which is a bit weird, but anyway. Welcome back. Okay, so London, Wales, Scotland. Didn't hear the new... Oh, really? You didn't hear... Okay, so I'm just sitting here bopping when the new Kotaku story comes up, and you didn't hear it. You didn't hear the jingle. All right, well, I'll put that on my fix list. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hey, no apologies. There's no obligation to follow. I'm just happy that people show up because it's one of those things. You turn on the camera and you're like, yep, well, here we go. And then there's nothing worse than finishing a stream and thinking, I assume somebody was here. And if they're not, I hope they might at least watch the VOD. But okay, TD. So we have the Polygon Pilgrimage who will be visiting the UK in October and doing a 3-week trip. London, Wales, Scotland. So I have an affinity for all three of those places. London because it's only about an hour from where I used to live, and I used to... Polygon Pilgrimage, what are you doing? Gifting subs. Thank you very much. I actually know Anders, and Anders will be quite happy to receive that. So, yes, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Yes, so London is about an hour from where I used to live. He is great. And I love Camden Market on a weekend. I love going to the West End and watching shows. And so, yes, I do have an affinity for London. Wales, I love for the scenery. Wales is a great place. I have visited quite often, not least because my eldest kiddo lived there for a short while. So when we went to visit, it was a fun place to be, right on the coast. And Scotland. Scotland has a special place in my heart because that is where I honeymooned. We went and stopped in Ayr, AYR, and used it as a base. And then we went out visiting different parts of Scotland, including the Isle of Arran, where I believe the Arran sweaters come from. So, yeah, I'm sure you can have a great time on your whirlwind tour. And thank you, Saribot, for deleting that troll before hopefully anybody actually saw anything. Yes, I'm not using SR at the moment, TD, so just a heads up. That's why it gives you a... Bot Gamey gives you a little message there. We don't currently have SR. However, we are saving VODs again now, and the clip functionality is back as TD demonstrated earlier. We're doing lots of time on the treadmill, getting ready for lots of hiking, including Old Man of Store in Isle of Skye. Okay, I'm not familiar with that. Never been to Isle of Skye, and I haven't heard of Old Man of Store, but yeah, I've been doing lots of time on the, well, what I call the dreadmill. I'm on there for at least an hour a day, sometimes two, depending on how the mood takes me. But yes, I'm hoping I'll actually be in a good position to do a lot of walking when I go back to England, because although I do have access to my mum's car and I'm insured for it, and I do drive when I'm over there, I also like to walk as much as possible, because, you know, it's not like Texas. In Texas, you can't really walk anywhere because, well, either it's too hot, either where you want to get to is not pedestrian friendly, so you're either playing Frogger or Crossy Road, getting across the highway to reach the other side. There's not any underpasses where I live. There's not any bridges you can go across. So you just have to rely that when you go across the pedestrian crossing, that vehicles are actually going to stop and not mow you down. So there's that. But yeah, mostly it's just too hot to walk anywhere in Texas. The heat and the humidity doesn't make it pedestrian friendly. So I like to get my steps in on the dreadmill when I'm here, and then get actual steps in when I'm over there, whether it's walking into town from my mum's house or walking around car boot sales, as is my wont. But yeah, good on you for putting in the time on the treadmill. I know what a challenge that can be. So when you're on the treadmill, what do you do? Do you listen to music? Do you watch things on your phone or on a tablet? Because what I tend to do is hit Netflix. I have things called Netflix content when I'm on the treadmill. So if there's something that I don't think that Mrs. Gamey would watch, like anything with zombies, anything with pirates, I kind of know after being married to her for a while what she likes and doesn't like on Netflix. So that's the time I use to watch things like Black Sails that I'm watching at the moment, the pirate program, which has 4 seasons and I'm almost finished. I have a challenge for chat. Name a more iconic monster theme than Godzilla's theme song. Well, welcome in, Clayman. Yes, it's Bigamy. Jaws. There we go. Jaws was a monster. Well, arguably a monster. Definitely have monstrous jaws. I didn't even know that Godzilla had a theme song, so there's that. I guess not really that iconic a theme if I didn't know about it. But Clayman, welcome on in. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. We're going to do an SO for Clayman Dev, who is also a... Aha, that's fine by me, Clayman. We were just talking about pirates. since I'm watching Black Sails on Netflix. So, haha, very good, very on point. So we're going to do an SO. We're going to see the amazing Clayman dev in action with his amazing game. There it is, Epic Hero Game, which you can add to your wish list.
Look, the cat just killed this monster. I bet that you cannot do that in other games.
If that's an old clip, that must mean you don't have a clip created in the last 7 days, Clay, because the clip machine I'm using now says, hey, let's grab a clip from the last 7 days, but if you don't have one, then I'm just going to grab any clip. So although you've been streaming the last 7 days, and I know because I have notifications enabled for your stream, I'm guessing that no clips were created. So yes, drop Clayman a follow. Watch his YouTube channel and subscribe to that. And then last but definitely not least, you can wishlist Epic Hero Game at that last link. We haven't seen Clayman dev's face in so long we forgot what it looks like. Well, I don't know if you were here when I explained the reason behind that, Hugin. You might not have been here when I explained in a lot of detail why that is. So Clayman actually got an email from Twitch saying could he turn his camera off some of the streams because of his handsomeness. They said they allow only allow a certain amount of handsomeness per streamer. And Clayman got an email saying that he's been streaming so many hours showing his handsomeness that he needs to tone it down. People have been complaining. Other streamers that aren't as handsome as he have been complaining to Twitch saying it's not fair. Clayman is getting all the viewers, he's getting all the attention because he keeps showing his face. So that's why some of the streams now he doesn't have his webcam on. It's purely a terms of service thing, you know. If he could, he would put it on all the time. But yeah. And funnily enough, I got an email opposite of that, and they said just have your webcam on all the time. It's okay. There's no fear of you going against terms of service. So here I am. Here's my face every stream. What can I tell you? I was one of those. Last time I looked at a camera, I shattered it. Yes, and we even got the shattering sound, Hugin. I mean, come on. Where else can you get a shattering sound if you type the word shatter in chat? Shatter for a chatter. There you go. Rhyming as well. Okay, so the reason we have Night Swim on here is that I was looking at the movies that I can watch on the plane when I board the British Airways flight this coming Saturday. So what we were up to at the start of the stream, it's kind of transitioned a little. So at the start of the stream, we were looking at post-processing and the drag and drop game, Show Unity. So we were going through post-processing profiles, how it works in URP, skyboxes, UI, all that kind of stuff. And then we kind of transitioned into, well, this is my last but one stream before I'm off the radar for 3 weeks when I fly to England. So, British Airways, yes, that's just how I should be pronouncing it. Yeah, so I'm going back to see my family for 3 weeks, starting this Saturday. Got an overnight flight Saturday night. We could call it the red eye, I guess. And in advance of said flight, I thought it would be a good idea, like I did last year, where we look up the movies that are available so I can shortlist them now before I fly, rather than taking time on the plane, on a tiny screen, going like this, like I'm some sort of Tinder fanatic, swiping left, trying to narrow it down when I was on the flight, because they have a huge amount of films and a huge amount that I don't want to watch. So the plan is to shortlist before then. The FBI wants to know who's celebrating Dog's Butts Day. What are we up to, Dog's Butt Day? Yes, Buttspot has a habit of sometimes being a little bit awkward, but sometimes being hilarious. So that's why I let him stay. Streams I follow. Number 1 says Captain Coda, but shows Thor. No, it doesn't, TD. I don't know what you're looking at. I see Instafluff, and it shows Instafluff, and then I'll see 1-1 Lion, and it shows 1-1 Lion. So I think just, you know, if you're just going to come here and just spout a bunch of lies, then, you know, I think you're better than that. You just spend 5 minutes to answer chat. Yeah, you see, when you answer chat, it's called being engaging. We can have a talk after stream, and I can explain to you how it works, but when you stream, you actually read through chat, and you don't just like read it like you're reading a book. You respond to people, they respond back to you, and that's how you get viewer engagement. I know to some people, apparently TD, it's a mystery, but that is how it works. You can engage with chat. But I'm sure you clipped it, TD. If it actually happened, I'm sure you got a clip already. And then you'll be able to post the link in a minute saying, hey, look, this was where your streams I follow messed up. Because no clip, it didn't happen. That's all I'm saying. And I really hope it's not too far back now that you're not able to clip it, because that would be a crying shame. When I stream, I'll literally pause what I'm doing just to talk with chat when I can. See, Hugin knows what it's about. Stop doing what you're doing. Focus on the people that matter. And be engaging. Hugin is a pro streamer. Okay? And I think on that point, we probably need to give a shout out for Hugin. I'm not sure if there's been a clip in the last 7 days, but if not, we'll get an older clip. Which game is this, Hugin? Definitely not Harry Potter, which I saw you playing. Wingardium Leviosa. Oh, some nice bloom there. Those who remain.
Loves order above anything else. That's probably one of the reasons that led
him to the military. All right, those who remain. Not familiar with that one. Clearly, I would have recognised it. See, that's how you do it, TD. Somebody sends a message. Look, I'm engaging with Hugin now. We're talking about a game. We're talking about his stream. Engagement. That's all I'm saying. It's a horror game. Okay. Well, that's probably all the more reason why I'm not familiar with it, because I love horror movies. It's actually my favourite genre. Hellraiser being my personal favourite. But I don't really play horror games. So what I need to do, and what you'll need to do, is drop a follow on Hugin, and then the next time he's playing a horror game, you too don't have to play them yourself. You can watch Hugin get scared playing the games. Okay, show browser. You love the Alien franchise, so here is a $64,000 question for you, Hugin. Which Alien movie is the best? Is it the first one where you first see the alien burst out of John Hurt's chest? Or is it later ones where, you know, Ripley is going along in that yellow machine, for want of a better word, taking out the aliens? Which is your favourite Alien movie? And whatever answer Hugin comes back with is the definitive answer, because he knows Alien movies. That one with the little alien. I think you're talking about Paw Patrol there, TD, and not everybody watches that. So, oh, E.T., extraterrestrial. So, little known fact, okay, Nerdwino, who raided in earlier, lives not very far from the house that featured in E.T. Yeah? True story. The first two are the best. Yes, I think you're right, and I think you'll find that with most series, franchises, the first one or two are usually the best. I mean, let's take Superman, for example. First Superman, I loved it. Great. Second Superman, oh, we introduced some new villains. Great, yeah. But then stop. 1, 2, stop. Bardaki! We were talking about Bardaki. What are the chances of Bardaki raiding in with his famous sneeze and bringing with him Dukasoft, one of the amazing mods of this channel? What can I tell you? Anyway, let's get a little clipperoonie. See what's going on.
Oh dear God. Shift control there. That actually works, except for this stuff, but that's a different issue. But
Okay, and what you saw there was Bardaki in full game dev mode working on an RTS called The Unwanted War. But the great thing, unlike my games, Bardaki has taken the time to get his game onto Steam. The same as we saw earlier with Clayman's Epic Hero game on Steam, The Unwanted War is also on Steam. And now you might say, but I'm not on Steam. Some games, like the two I just mentioned, and also Irish John Games' Rise of Piracy, also on Steam. I mean, there's 3 reasons alone why you should have a Steam profile. So if you don't have one, you should go to Steam right now, click on that link in Bardaki's verbiage, click on that link, set yourself up a profile, just create a new one, it doesn't take long, and then visit the URL there again, and you'll see a little button that says add to wishlist. It won't say that for me because I wishlisted it as soon as I heard it was on Steam. Add it to your wishlist and then search for Rise of Piracy, add that to your wishlist, and then search for Epic Hero Game and add that to your wishlist. And then when anybody comes by and they're like, oh, let me see what games you've got on your Steam wishlist, and they'll go, Epic Hero Game, The Unwanted War, Rise of Piracy. Whoa, that is a cool wish list of games you've got there. You can thank me later. Okay, it is far more work than you might think. Yes, so there's a lot of effort involved, not just in managing to prize $100 out of your wallet to give to Steam in the first instance, but then before you make that page public, you have to create a trailer, and then creating the trailer is a whole thing in itself, and then you need good screenshots, you need some good text and verbiage to go along with it, you have to have the capsule image that people see when they look for your game. It's a whole thing, there's a lot involved. So apparently my dogs are co-hosting today. Let me just throw that aside. I'll be right back.
Delicious little bars of smooth milk chocolate with a creamy, milky center. Made for being a kid. Let that kid flag fly.
Worried about heat damage from your hairdryer? The Dyson Supersonic Neural Hairdryer is the first intelligent hair tool from Dyson, combining what you know and love from the Supersonic hairdryer with intelligent features to help protect your hair and scalp. Let's talk about Scalp Protect Mode, which works with gentle air or styling concentrator attachments. And a sensor measures the distance between the dryer and your hair and adjusts the heat accordingly. The heat lowers when closer to your scalp and shifts higher when farther away for consistent drying performance with hair and scalp health in mind. You can see the lights change color as the heat adjusts. Red for high, orange for medium, and yellow for low as you're closer to your scalp. This level of precision helps protect your scalp and hair from heat damage. Also unique to this model is attachment learning. Each attachment has a unique magnetic ID, so the hairdryer recognizes the attachment and automatically sets the heat and airflow to Dyson's recommendation. But adjust the settings to your preference and it'll remember. So the next time you use that same attachment, it'll go to your last used setting. The Dyson Supersonic Neural is designed for all hair types and comes with 5 intelligent attachments. They attach magnetically and stay cool to the touch. The gentle air attachment is for fast.
Okay. So, the dogs are outside. I can hear myself think again. Are you ready to? Just about to stop. Say hello. Went to grab food and you're offline. Yeah, I don't even know what I was working right now. Bark hosting. Yes. Yes. I don't know. They wait until like a really critical point in the stream. Some would say it's when people walk by my house or somebody pulls up in a vehicle outside my house. But I think they are more conniving than that. I think they wait until I'm just about to say something which might be remotely interesting and then bark all over me. Thank you, Jesse. Jesse Soft. Not good dog. No. Good dog's butt. That's probably more like it, but Spot. You called it. Yeah. Smart hairdryer. Is that what the shrimp toy looked like? I didn't actually see what Dukasoft caught. Okay, so we had started doing some game dev. We're getting towards the end of the stream now, and we were looking at the movies that I might be able to watch on the plane. And Napoleon, no. Oppenheimer, no. Night Swim. Night Swim I was going to add to the list, and then we looked at reviews. Or we looked on here, and it got 1 star, 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. And first Reddit post says Night Swim was awful. The beginning wasn't bad, but it really went off the deep end towards the middle. So I'm probably not going to watch that. Epic Shrimp Toy sounds a bit wrong. Dukasoft. Are you flying to TwitchCon Rotterdam? It's funny you say that, Bardaki, because... Alright, you heard it here first. No. I am flying back to England to see my family, and funnily enough, I think, is it just when I get there or just when I get back? When is it on? Rotterdam, 29th, 30th of June. Yes, so 29th is when I will actually be flying back, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look. So I'll go on the 8th. 1, 2, 3. Yes, so 29th is when I will be at the airport, but I'll be flying back here to Texas. I will not be flying to Rotterdam. So I could say it's just because the timing's all wrong, but, you know, it costs apparently money to do these things as well, so I'll not be attending the Rotterdam one this time around. Rotterdam and San Diego. Do we know anybody in these pictures from the last one? Probably not. Although this guy with the lovely tassels on his hat, believe it or not, is the CEO of Twitch. So, yeah, we recognise him. I think we know anybody else on there. Such timing. I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, yes, if the timing was different and I hadn't just had a flight to return from England on that date, who knows? Maybe I could have had a return flight via Rotterdam if I knew more in advance. These ears are really These antlers not playing ball today. Okay. Yes, so will I be going to Twitch Rotterdam? No. Will I be on a plane about that time? Yes. Will I be watching Night Swim? No. Ordinary Angels seemed a bit sad. I don't really want that if I'm going on vacation. Now, has anybody watched Meg or Meg 2? Because I hear that it's a bit cheesy, but it's also a bit good. So they do have Meg 2 on the flight. Is it worth me watching Meg or The Meg before I go so I can watch Meg 2 on the flight? I'm thinking I might add it to the list. Enjoy your nom-noms, Badaki. Thanks again for the raid. I appreciate you bringing your peeps into my little corner of Twitch. Thank you. And don't forget, go drop a follow on Badaki's stream, and you too can watch game development of his amazing The Unwanted War game. I'm sorry, Dukasoft. But on the flip side, we are saving VODs again now, and clips have been enabled. So, you know, when I do something ridiculously stupid or stupidly ridiculous, you get to clip it, and it'll be there for all time, or until I delete it, purge my clips. But anyway, yes, there is that. Okay, so on the shortlist so far, we have Beekeeper with Jason Statham, and coincidentally, Meg 2 also with Jason Statham. I'm not just adding, I guess I am just adding Jason Statham movies so far, but that is not my criteria. Yes, I was watching Nerduino's stream earlier today, and Balint came into the stream and got first, as is his wont. And we did make comments there about the rocket launch on Nerduino's stream went off without a hitch because they said they weren't using StreamerBot. So, yeah. All the fun around StreamerBot not working all the time for me, which is mostly almost exclusively my fault rather than StreamerBot itself. I just try to be a bit too clever sometimes, and it falls in a big steaming pile. Okay, so none of these movies scream, watch me. I mean, Lady and the Tramp, how can you not? It has dogs in it, so. My name is John Cena! I have to say that every time I see Freelance. But also, Alison Brie, do we know her? I know Christian Slater. Does that say Jean Pablo Raga? That's a new one. And speaking of ships, I'm watching Black Sails on Netflix at the moment. I'm almost through all 4 seasons of it, and it's a must-watch, I would say, if you have any interest at all in pirates, which you obviously do because you are all following Irish John Games. So I know Alison Brie played Annie in Community, if you've seen that, if I remember correctly. I have not watched Community. I am aware of it. I know some of the actors, clearly not Alison Brie, but I know some of the actors in that. I'm just not sure. I feel like I know the name Alison Brie, and not just because I like cheese. Yeah, I'm going to have a quick look and see what she's been in, I think. Anyway, in the meantime, let's watch a clip from the never potty mouth, always fun Irish heartthrob, Irish John Games.
Shit. Fuck off, that's why. Fuck all the way off.
See, like I said, you won't find a more wholesome stream than Irish John Games. So drop him a follow, get yourself over there, and you won't be sorry. Okay, so from one wholesome person to a couple of wholesome dogs, has anybody seen the new Lady and the Tramp? I have not seen it. I'm guessing there's probably a lot of CGI involved if they're using actual dogs to get them to move their mouths for talking and stuff. And especially if they recreated the spaghetti eating scene, I imagine that is a challenge. Great clip. Yes, everyone's a wholesome winner, TD. I have seen it. It's okay. Not great. Okay, so did they recreate the iconic spaghetti eating scene? I have to know. The people have to know, TD. And you've seen it, so you will know if, in fact, they managed to recreate it in the new movie. And I have to say, whether the answer is a yay or a nay, I'm still not watching it. It's one of the less good live actions. I think so. Yeah, these things don't always translate. I'm sure they have a massive number of people at Disney that sit there and say, all right, now let's have a look through our back catalogue and see what would translate well to live action. Let's try Jungle Book. Let's try Aladdin. Let's try Lion King. And let's try Lady and the Tramp. It does make me wonder what they're going to release next as live action. Five Nights at Freddy's. Saw that. Ferrari. Not really interested in that. See, Expendables. That's always good for a laugh. But again, what is going on? Another Jason Statham movie. I'm really not just trying to add Jason Statham movies to my shortlist, but maybe this just tells you how versatile an actor he is to be in all these movies that I want to watch. I've seen Expendables 1, I've even seen Expendables 2, but Expendables 3, I'm not so sure. But I do kind of feel these type of movies don't really need to be watched in order. I don't think it has a compelling storyline that flows between the narrative of all the movies. Doom Part 2 got a glowing recommendation earlier from Irish John Games. Said it's better than all of the Doom movies that have come before it. But Part 2 concerns me since I haven't seen Part 1. So maybe I won't put that on my list. Dumb Money. No idea what that is. Comedy drama. Who's in it? Shailene Woodley. Wasn't she in Hunger Games? Or actually, what was that thing I watched? I can't remember what I've seen her in. Seth Rogen, we know. Oh, Pete Davidson, immediate decline on that one. I can't stand that guy. Pete Davidson, why? Who used to go out with Ariana Grande, if I'm not mistaken. Cat Person. Movie. Tale about 20-year-old Margot and her bouncing around the excitement and misunderstanding of relationships and how communication, expectation, and ... 46% Rotten Tomatoes, 1 out of 5 for The Independent, and 6 out of 10 IMDb. Probably tells me everything I need to know. Sometimes, just because it has the word Sundance and those lovely laurel wreaths leaves around it, doesn't mean it's going to be a good film. Downtown Owl. Based on a novel. Sparkle Dark Reagan Era Comedy. Well, that's a phrase I didn't think I'd ever hear. Sparkle Dark Reagan Era Comedy. American comedy drama. 5 out of 10, 44%, 48%. Yeah, I think we're probably not going to do that one either.
Disenchanted, I might if I'm really bored. Seen Enchanted, but not the sequel. Camp Hideout. Blue Beetle. Somebody watched that, and I don't remember who it was, and they told me they thought it was good. But it looks like it's already on streaming services, so we don't need to watch it on the plane. American superhero film based on the DC Comics character Jamie Ray's Blue Beetle. An alien scarab chooses Jamie Reeves to be its symbiotic host. So it looks like it's pretty much Spider-Man, but with a beetle. Why did it flop? I mean, what kind of world are we in where a movie makes $125 million and is considered a flop? I guess it cost a lot more than that to make, or a lot of other movies released around the time made a lot more money. Yeah, I'm probably not going to Blue Beetle it. Definitely not going to Barbie it. Now, I like this actor. I remember he was in Westworld. He's been in a couple of other things I've watched recently. A frustrated novelist professor who writes an outlandish satire of stereotypical black books. Jeffrey Wright, that's him. Don't know any of the other actors. Flies on tired and offensive tropes. Whose point uses a pen name to write an outlandish black book of his own, a book that propels him to the heart of hypocrisy and the madness he came to disdain. No, I don't think so. A kind of kidnapping. A young broke couple kidnap a sleazy politician who decides he can spin the story to his own advantage. Doesn't sound riveting. I don't know any of these actors. Not one. 50% Rotten Tomatoes. A crime against comedy. The Guardian says it like it is. Okay, won't be watching that one. All the Strangers. Well, looks like that's on streaming services as well, but 97% Rotten Tomatoes is enticing. Andrew Scott, who I love from Sherlock, didn't like so much in Ripley. Screenwriter drawn back to his childhood home enters into a fledgling relationship with a mysterious. Well, that's mysterious in itself. A mysterious what? British romantic fantasy film. So 97% deeply emotional drama. No, I don't want deeply emotional on the plane. Okay. Thank you, Berlin, for that reminder. Alrighty, so I've narrowed it down to 3 films, coincidentally, all with Jason Statham in. We have The Beekeeper, or just Beekeeper, Meg 2, and Expendables 4, but it does rely on me watching The Meg before I watch Meg 2. So where can I watch The Meg? On Hulu. Okay. Although 5.7 out of 10 and 47% is not very encouraging. But you know what? I'm going to watch it anyway. I have Hulu. Irish John Games, who we were just talking about, saying about Dune 2 being a fantastic movie. So I know nothing, Jern, about Dune world, Dune movies.
do I have to have seen Dune Part 1 to watch Dune Part 2? I would think so, but I do like to ask because, you know, I didn't have to play the Fallout games to watch the Fallout series on Amazon. So there is that. I would just think that something called Part 2 might kind of be implied that you have to watch Part 1 first. And since I'm already going to be watching the Meg before I watch Meg 2 on the plane, I might not have the bandwidth to watch Dune as well. Alrighty, well, after 3 hours of mostly not game dev, which was great because I do love engaging, and I need to have a conversation about that with TD after the stream and how you can engage with viewers. So sometimes it might take you a little longer to catch up with chat. And TD did not produce a clip showing that my streams I follow didn't work, so we know that he was just having his Pinocchio moment. So on that note, if you want some extra channel points, you could do worse than to stick around the raid train that we're about to board. So I'm going to have a look, see who is on. And why have I got a thing from Twitch saying multiple instances of copyrighted audio were identified in your recent VODs reviewing your stream settings? Oh, that was 2 months ago. Why is that flagged as a new message? I know about that. We talked about that. We had a meeting about that, Twitch, and you said you were fine. So, yeah. You have a great day too, Yoga, and hopefully we're down to only 1 or 2 hours you've got left of work, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day. So, big thanks to the mods as always. Science Streams, aka Balint, Dukasoft, aka Papa, who has his own command, which is Tease, and Irish John Games, aka the Irish Heartthrob, who we all know and love. Okay, let's see who's on my streams I follow list. We can go over to today. Somebody that maybe we either haven't raided before or we haven't raided in a while, so we can get some fresh new faces over there. I think, since it looks like they're not streaming out anytime soon, we're going to try our new friendo of the channel, Shauno4D. Also a game developer and doing some game development today. So there we go. There's a little live feed of what Shauno's working on at the moment.
Right, there you go. We're back.
So, as it says there, I will see you on Friday at my normal stream time of 10 AM Central. However, note that that's probably going to be my last stream, was for effect, for 3 weeks. So, if I don't do any pop-up IRL streams while I'm on vacation, Friday will be my last stream until July the 1st. So, you know, all the more reason to all the more reason to swing by and say hi on Friday because, you know, why not? There is some copy pasta text in the chat, but it doesn't really relate to what we were doing today. So it's up to you whether you want to copy and paste that into Shauno's chat when we get there. So with that said, we're going to head on over to Shauno and see what he's doing today. So I will see you over there. Thanks everybody. Bye.